You're watching the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, Ryan, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is TND. Welcome to episode 124 of the Wrestling Nerd broadcast. I, DaveCTheVoice, joined as always by the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter, and His Royal Says Highness, Mr. Tom Sasso. Welcome to episode 124 of the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode coming from this channel. Of course, if you're back again, we thank you for joining us on this. Of course, make sure you check us out on all platforms, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff. But of course, our main stuff comes right here on YouTube. And another thing that comes on YouTube is a very little show. It looks like it's made by a high school AV club, but that would be an insult to AV clubs around the world. That is the boys over at Shootin' Shit. Dennis, Javon, the premier Joey K, the Silver Wolf, Silver Fox. I don't know what the hell he goes by. The Silver Bullet, whatever. The good boys over at Shootin' Shit, and we had tossed out the challenge for a predictions contest at Forbidden Door. They, like fish, took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, and now they're dead in the water.
Yeah,
boys.
Like little do they know that I'm gonna move to Japan until it happens. So,
do they not realize that, Dave, you literally work with doors for a living?
Exactly.
You might be like a premier door expert.
Literally,
in the wrestling community.
I don't just work with doors. I live above my job for now.
Yes.
And it's nothing but doors. Forbidden doors, forbidden windows. We got them all.
Multiple doors inside my house. And I have a front door and a back door and a side door in the garage and a garage door. Car doors also. So.
am literally in seminary studying theology. I know about the forbidden fruit.
Oh.
You boys
got this in the bag, guys.
You boys messed up the wrong tree. Now here's the thing. Are we going to go 4-on-3? Do we find a mystery partner? Scott Hall Scaryfinger says, we'll find out. Because you know what? To quote Kenny Omega, I got a friend or two that can help even up the odds. Just saying.
There's 4 of them?
There's 4 of them.
Yeah. We'll talk off the air.
You know?
I got some ideas. We
got spacemen, we got puppets, we got all sorts of stuff. You never know.
We got backyard wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I might make a phone call.
This could be a real deal coming to you at Forbidden Door. Just saying. But speaking of real deals, real good deals that happen, Nick is trying to get some big boy brawlers out of his house, ladies and gentlemen. And so, Nick, take it away. What'd you do? What'd you do on Memorial Day?
Well, yeah, I did a little Nick's duck racing. You get the shirt on the Pro Wrestling Tees right now.
Nick's Racing Ducks.
Go ahead. Yep. But I had some financial issues. I don't want to get too much into it, but my kid needs some medical stuff and just a bunch of money needed. So we had to sell some of the big boys. And yeah, I no longer own an X-Pac or a Billy Gunn micro brawler. Sad it is to say that, but it was pretty wild. I mean, like I don't even know where to be. Yeah, like
I'll tell you where you can begin.
I'm still kind of like buzzing over the whole thing.
You can begin at ProWrestlingTees.com and get your Nick's Racing Duck shirt. It's available. ProWrestlingTees.com. Just saying, help out. All that money goes right to Nick too. So, but yeah, who is the gentleman that won?
Dan R. I don't have his last name right in front of me.
It was like Rheinkopf or something, I think, right? Is that what I saw?
He was I talked to him, he was very surprised.
It was incredible, but it was the deal and the steal of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, go ahead, Tom.
That's the way to go, though, right? Like, I can never justify dropping $100, $200, $300, $1,000 on a brawler, whatever. If I can justify one, I mean, this is a special case. If it wasn't Nick, I probably wouldn't have participated. But I could justify dropping $60 to potentially win a several $100 brawler. That's fine. I'm more apt to do that. So yeah, I like.
Well, let's say I don't think we actually said what happened to anybody that doesn't know it in, but this guy Dan R.
This
literally
motherfucker
won. He won both races, so he won with. I think he had like 4 entries into each race and stuff. Which there's people that had a lot more and stuff, and he literally won both the X Pac and the Billy Gunn. He got the greatest deal ever in the history of micro brawls. He is now forever known as Dan the Fish Man because this is the most incredible. Not the fish, excuse me, Dan the Duck Man. It wasn't
I was
fish
gonna
racing. It was
say.
duck
Dan the
racing.
Fish
I don't know. I
Man.
got a
Danny
fish.
Ducks.
Yeah, Danny
Florida
Ducks,
man
Danny
over
Ducks.
Danny Ducks coming in
You
hot.
can tell
Danny Ducks.
I'm frazzled by the whole situation.
I'm genuinely mad about it.
I felt bad when it happened. I mean, I'm not just taking anything away from Dan. Totally,
I don't care
felt
that the
legitimately,
same
I was
person-
like, oh my God, I can't believe, but what, like I told Ryan, the Ducks have spoken. This is what the Ducks said. I mean, I can't,
Yeah.
who am I to argue with the Ducks?
I'm
Yep.
fine with someone winning both of them. That's fine with me. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm mad that it wasn't me, and that as your friend, I expected you to rig that so I would win.
Yeah. I tried,
and
Tom.
I
Not everything is a crown, Tom.
listen. I don't even wear a crown because I have beautiful hair that I want to show. No, that was cool. I'm glad that people jumped in on that.
I got more still. I got more. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet because they didn't think, but I might try. I still have this guy.
I regret selling him so much.
This guy, I'm sure I'm gonna regret selling all of these, but
Love that.
this one, I'm sure a bunch of people.
I
I
regret
have
selling that one, too.
Unfortunately, all my brawlers are packed up right, which stinks.
Kurt,
It's you got the big boys.
Owen Hart,
Oh, that one's been in my
Cheeky
mouth.
Baby. I opened him live on the air on this podcast, and we
Do a
didn't record
tantrum.
it because we forgot to press record. So when
This is
we
the
recorded
early
the second
days.
time, I was like, I already opened this. You can actually episode like 6 or something. I don't know. But
Like episode 3.
Don't quote me on that. But yeah, so I don't know. I might do more duck races. I don't know what I want to do. Duck races is a lot of work though. To get
I
put
think
together
what it
and
might
set up.
help, I think you did too many at one time,
Yes,
which overwhelmed people. Because like I was like,
Overwhelmed.
I want like 4 spots in each one. And I was like, oh wait, that's gonna be like $200.
Yeah, I mean,
But
maybe you're right.
I think
That's what
one
I
a
think
week.
too. And I thought
we do
maybe
one a week.
Memorial Day weekend wasn't probably the best. I think people were really busy this weekend and maybe not in the group as much. There's a couple things, but I'm happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Congratulations, Dan. Get your pro wrestling tees, nerd. Nick's Racing Duck shirt.
We should try to work on getting the exclusive interview with Dan on the
Yeah,
podcast.
we'll work it out. We'll shoot him a
I'll
DM.
sit out that episode because I'm bitter.
You just sit there silent. Maybe we can get Gerald or Tomas back on here. But yes, speaking of great deals, it was a great deal of wrestling this weekend as well. We had a Night of Champions, we had Double or Nothing, and for those of you who were completely off the beaten path on Sunday night, Battleground. NXT put on a show too. How do you like that? Yes, because that's WWE's way of saying, okay, we're going to take 10,000 viewers away from Double or Nothing, make them watch Battleground. Although Matt Rudd was there in person. So I guess we'll start with Night of Champions. We'll go in the order. We're not really going to talk about Battleground because I don't really know what happened. But Night of Champions happened at 12 in the afternoon on Saturday. I, of course, was in Maine celebrating my birthday. It happened at 12 noon. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, cool. It's what we'll probably have with Money in the Bank come July. We've got some news about Money in the Bank at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. So cool start time. I've always had a moral dilemma in watching these shows live, so I never have. But I watched it. I watched the replay. Seemed very good, and I have a hot take in the fact that I was more excited with the ending of Night of Champions than I was with the ending of Double or Nothing. So spoilers, everyone. For those of you who are unaware, at Night of Champions, the Usos super kicked Solo Sikoa by accident. Then they super kicked Roman by accident.
Only one of them super kicked Roman.
Oh yes, Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy super kicked Roman by accident. Then he didn't do it by accident. Pulled the whole like I'm your brother, not him card and whatnot. So it left you very intrigued with the. And I'll say this: going into that match, they could have gone either way. You could have had Roman and Solo win the belts. You could have had Sami and KO win the belts. I will say this with Sami coming out in his garb and whatnot, you can tell it was a very emotional thing for him to be there. And it was in a way one of those like, okay, Sammy's okay with these shows. I guess I can be okay with these shows.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very interesting when, of course, Paul Heyman did his basic rundown, like, my name's Paul Heyman, this is Roman Reigns, and so let's go yada yada. And then like Mike Rome is about to announce Sami KO. Sami grabs the mic and starts announcing himself, what I would assume is doing his introductions in Arabic. I believe that's what
I saw a TikTok where they actually translated it like as he was talking.
Oh, did they?
And that was really powerful.
Yep.
Even like I didn't watch all of Night of Champions. I fell asleep after like this during the Becky Lynch match because I was just tired. Yep. And I'm sad that I didn't watch that Sami KO match, but I did see Sami's entrance, and it's just cool when it's cool when the wrestlers' real life comes out. Of like he got really emotional when he walked out. That was really cool. And then, but yeah, the intro he did, he said he's like, since we're in an Arab speaking country, we're gonna do this intro in Arabic. And he did like a very traditional Muslim greeting on the microphone of like, prayer to the prophet, or I think that's what it was translated as. Yeah, that was like I have no idea where the TikTok is or who did it. I meant to send it to you, but I'm sure you can find it. Yep. It was really cool. That was really cool, and Sami being there gave me permission to watch it. I feel like
exactly.
He was a big reason why I wasn't watching it. Actually, he was probably the only reason why I wasn't watching it, because I've always known him to be a good person, and if he says this isn't okay, or if they're saying he's not okay, I don't want to be a part of it. Super kicks though, man. I love the super kick, period. Yeah. I love how used it is all the time now. I know people hate that. If it's done well, it looks fantastic. And the Usos do it so well.
Yep.
I am super excited to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this just going to be Roman's off for a while and then just has his title for another, year until Mania? Is this the Usos just dismantle the bloodline and you've got Usos versus Roman and Solo at SummerSlam? Like, it could be a lot of things, but I think that for that story to progress well, they've got to do something with the title.
I have an idea.
Please go ahead.
Why don't they do the bloodline? Like Roman has his bloodline people, and it could be like the bloodline black and white, and then the Usos could be like the bloodline Wolfpack, and it could be like red and black. Well, I mean, it seems like it would work probably.
Maybe. It would be a good time to bring Tama Tonga in.
Yeah, exactly. You have The Rock come back. The Rock could come back and run the Wolfpack.
So
Roman could run the NW, or excuse me, not the NWO. What am I saying? It's the Bloodline Black and White.
The NW Uso. The NW Uso.
Oh.
But no, this is my thought. Again, tough to pull this out till Mania, but I remember years ago they always talked about doing the Shield triple threat for the WWE title at WrestleMania. And like they did it too late, kind of, and they did it like before the draft sort of thing, like before the initial draft in 2016 or whatever it was. But so what if you did at WrestleMania 40 a fatal four-way? Roman, Solo, Jimmy, Jay for the undisputed heavyweight title, whatever it is.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And an Island of Relevancy match.
Solo wins.
You could do Solo, you could do anybody to take it off, but so this way you've
Solo
got
wins.
time to build up Solo as a big threat, because I think that's the direction you go eventually. You can do Roman versus Jay at Money in the Bank. You do Roman versus Jimmy at SummerSlam, or whatever, switch them around, whatever you
You can
want.
even do
And
a
eventually you
Survivor
get to
Series.
Solo and Roman.
Yeah.
So, because I think Roman Solo right now is like Triple H Batista, like how they built up to a swing.
You do Survivor Series. You got Usos, KO, and Sammy,
Yeah.
and Doink. I don't know because I think there's 5 against Roman, Solo, Rikishi, and Tamatanga.
Well, this Friday they're doing the celebration of Roman's 1,000th day, which was last Saturday, and it'll be this Friday. It'll be 1,007 days, or 1,006 days, excuse me. But so I would assume they're going now. I think they were originally going to do this like months ago. But they decided to do like Sami Zayn on trial, but it was going to be like like the family was going to meet up. So I think they're going to like bring in all the Samoans. They're going to bring in the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika. They're going to bring in Rikishi, and I think Roman's going to be like, "Where your boys at? Where your sons at? Like, what's wrong with him?" And he'll start like pushing him around, and then boom, Junior Fatu runs out. The guy, what's his name? I can't. Is that it? The Wolf. He's got some.
Oh, the one on like
He's on MLW.
MLW.
He just like fought Matt Cardona.
Jacob Fatu.
Jacob
Fatu.
Yes, thank you.
Jacob.
Samoan werewolf.
Yeah, thank you. That's it. But so yeah,
He's a beast. He's a beast. He's an underrated member of the family. Like I don't.
So I think so that's my thing with the with Roman and the Usos and Solo, like it's kind of where it's gonna go eventually. Whereas with the end of Double or Nothing, you're asking a lot of questions and you don't know where they could go in too many directions. Whereas WWE, they can go in all these directions in one straight line. Whereas to go in every direction they could potentially go in, it's all over the place in a way.
Yeah.
I just hope we get Kota Ibushi for Tom.
Double or Nothing did not answer any questions.
No.
At all, which is cool. So like I'll just jump into Double or Nothing. Not their best pay-per-view.
No.
In my opinion. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good. There was great moments. There were great matches. The Battle Royal was fine. I don't care for those. I expected Orange Cassidy to lose.
So did I.
I'm a little shocked that he won. I did not enjoy the Toni Storm Jamie Hayter match. Short.
Well, apparently Jamie Hayter had a legitimate injury, so they were not even like sure if she was going to be able to compete.
Yeah. I really wanted that match.
Yeah.
But give her time off, whatever. What else was there? The Wardlow Christian match was terrible.
I'll say this: the spot. I mean, the spot at the end, of course, again, folks, spoilers. Sorry, not sorry. Where he caught him like coming off the ladder. I thought that was actually pretty cool, and that just displays Wardlow's strength really interestingly.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, of course, Wardlow just doing a swanton is very incredible.
That was wild. There were wild moments in it. I wasn't interested in the story, in the feud. I wasn't. There was zero emotional attachment for me for that. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. That was a very good match for Jade. She looked very good.
Yep.
The intro was weird. I didn't love it. I'm glad it was like one of the longest standing black sororities, step teams or whatever.
Yep.
I think Doja Cat sings that song and came out singing.
I don't know who that was.
It was a weird entrance. But that match was one of the few where I think Jade looked like she knew what she was doing.
Yep.
Which was nice. And I mean, when you're wrestling Taya Valkyrie, you're gonna look good. She'd stand up. I was shocked she didn't win. And out of left field comes the absolute gem of Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
Did not expect Jade to say, whoever wants it, come and get it whenever you want, blah, blah, blah. Did not expect anything to happen from that. Nonetheless, Chris Statlander, who kept it very tight under wraps that she was healed, and then wins the TBS title. People are pissed about it because it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, she was the plan.
She was the plan for the whole time, and that's why Jade, I think, was champion a lot longer than she was supposed to be.
She was always the plan, and they did their best with the story with Jade. Annoying. I didn't care for that, but I don't think that Chris Statlander having the title makes no sense. I think it makes perfect sense that she came back and said, "I'm here."
Yep.
I thought that was awesome. I've loved Chris Statlander since I first saw her in AEW, so I'm super stoked on that.
Yeah, no, I think they did the best they could with Jade. I know that the plan was for Statlander to take the title off her a long time ago, but Statlander tore her other ACL, I think, in her comeback. So, like you said, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm fell flat for me. I don't know. Maybe it's a very weird thing, but with Tony Storm's hair, the fact that those buns don't come out, and I'm talking about the ones that are hair, maybe it just makes me feel like she's not trying hard enough in the ring, and like the hair's just like it's right. Like I feel like that hairstyle should just come undone if you're wrestling.
Space buns done well, stay in.
I guess I don't know. I just got this little.
Tony Storm has some nice buns.
Yes.
I agree.
Nice blonde buns. Jericho versus Adam Cole fell flat.
Super flat.
It was like, okay, Sabu was brought in to be the enforcer, and nobody knows what the heck. Like, does he even know what the hell that even means?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I
you're
don't even
supposed to
think
be the
Sabu.
ref.
I don't think Sabu knew what he was even doing.
It makes no sense. I was hoping to see, like, I don't know what their status with the company is right now. But even if it was just one off, have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly come out, even the odds. But
yes, just the fact that like Sabu as the enforcer came out, did his thing, did a weird table spot where he slipped again off the rope.
Got through the table at least. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and left.
Yeah.
Like everyone just left.
It is noting, but bye. You know, surprisingly,
I like that Britt came out.
Yep. You know what was surprisingly entertaining to me? FTR versus Team TNA. That was like, God, I hate to admit it. Because you know what? The running joke is like Jeff Jarrett's broken 15 million guitars and never drew a dime. But you know what? Somehow that motherfucker's still entertaining. I don't get it. And I don't want to be entertained by him. But
I love Jeff Jarrett. I don't care what nobody says. I've always liked Jeff Jarrett.
And Karen Jarrett hitting Audrey with the guitar. Holy shit.
Shocking.
Oh my God.
And then she slipped because she's in heels.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And just the best is everyone's chanting F you, Karen. I'm like, oh man.
I'm on the fence if I like Aubrey as a ref. Most days she's fine, but sometimes she's just too involved. And too much of a character.
Yeah.
And I popped really hard when she got hit in the head with a guitar. I got
I liked it.
But then I was like, oh man, that means she's gonna like get involved now. So it was like very mixed emotions of like, yes, she finally someone shut her up, and then wait, what's going to happen next week? Because now she's going to be involved.
Yeah. Speaking of involved, shout out to the two people who are involved together in forming a family, and that is Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. Fun fact: when I met Tay Conti, I'm sorry, Tay Mello, excuse me. When I met them, she was pregnant. They had no idea. Oh. She wrestled that night. So Sammy and Tay put out a video this morning, and they were like, "Well, I guess cat's out of the bag." You know, when we wrestled for Northeast Wrestling, it turns out the Ty's pregnant. We had no idea, but everyone's healthy and safe right now. So congratulations to them.
The second they walked out with the sign, I knew they were pregnant.
Yeah.
The second they came out with the sign, everyone in my house, I had my buddy Jeremiah was here, who's a legit, like, he loves wrestling. Rebecca, Emily, Ruth, Reagan, and Sarisa. I literally said, I'm like, she's pregnant. And then I just looked at her face and I'm like, oh, she's like been
Oh,
pregnant.
she glowing.
This
So,
would be
yeah.
a great storyline for that the reality show because they're one of the people.
Oh
they
my
follow
god.
around.
That's right. I forgot all about that. AEW unplugged or whatever the hell it is. But yeah, the Four Pillars match was a lot of fun. I like the spot where they all hit a move from their mentors.
Mm-hmm.
MJF hitting the crossroads, Jungle Boy hitting the kill switch, Sammy hitting the code breaker, and then Jungle Boy, or not Jungle Boy, Darby hitting the what he hit the why am I missing it? The
Scorpion Death Drop.
thank you. That's it. I wanted to say the stinger drop. I'm like, that's not it. But that was a lot of fun. I don't think there was any. I don't think there was any doubt for most of us that thought MJF would retain.
The
Curious to see
spot
where
with like 90 Canadian destroyers was incredible.
I'm curious to see where it goes next.
I have an idea.
You have an idea for MJF?
MJF. Yeah.
I'd like to hear it because I genuinely, because here's the thing, and everyone's like, oh, they're gonna do blood and guts. We'll get there. They're gonna do blood and guts at All In. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna do that at Wembley.
Nope. Here's where it is. MJF in the media scrum afterwards talked a lot of shit on New Japan.
Yep.
That their biggest legend couldn't even lace his boots. They're like an indie fed.
Okada.
MJF is going to drop the title to whoever he's wrestling at Forbidden Door. Whether it's Okada, whether it's Shibata, whether it's Tanahashi. Sorry, I just heard noise. MJF is going to drop the title to an NJPW wrestler.
You know what I would like to see? MJF versus Naito.
That would be a very good match to watch.
They're both kind of cocky, and
I wouldn't be mad if Naito wins the AEW title either. I'd be like,
that'd be cool.
He's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride in New Japan.
Especially if he could stay for if he could do a little bit of an excursion over here for a couple months.
I think that's what's going to happen with the AEW title. It's far-fetched, it's insane, but I think that's where it's going to go. I wanted to say cool. Ospreay at first because he's already done a bunch of AEW stuff, but that wouldn't be at Forbidden Door. That would be at All In Wembley, and I think we're going to get Kenny versus Ospreay there.
You think we're getting Kenny versus Ospreay at Wembley?
Yeah, just because it makes sense. People will be stoked. Like, it doesn't make sense story-wise with AEW right now for Kenny to go and wrestle Ospreay at Wembley. But, for Wembley, I think it just makes sense to put Will Ospreay against the biggest. Who else would it be? Jericho?
Well, what if you did this in terms of so this is where I see they do Ospreay versus Kenny for. I think Kenny's still the IWGP United States champion, correct?
Yeah.
So you do Ospreay versus Kenny at Forbidden Door. Blackpool Combat Club costs him, and that's when Ibushi comes out to make the save.
Yeah, I like that.
So here's a thought I had. So obviously, blood and guts happened. Konosuke Takeshita hurt all of our feelings. Golden Tom said hi.
It was Anarchy in the Arena.
Yes, I'm sorry. Anarchy in the Arena.
Some band was
the Iron Saints or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just spoofing last year when it just wouldn't stop.
No, I think that was on purpose because they were just waiting for the Bucks to get up there and super kick them.
Yes, but I mean, I think they just kept going to rib last year because remember last year, Joan Jett just wouldn't stop playing for whatever reason.
No, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I love the drama on the internet of everyone saying he's not in blackface, it's just a mask. I looked up the band. That mask is normally white or gray. So that was shady. I didn't like that. They didn't sound good. More than anything, they didn't sound good. No. And I just didn't want to hear them anymore.
Yeah.
And it went on for far too long. They played the song 4 times.
Were they better or worse than you two? Callback from last week.
Worse. Far worse.
Shockingly far worse.
Okay. So that's pretty bad then. In Tom's world.
It was pretty bad. I didn't love the Anarchy in the Arena match.
I don't like it either, especially because I'm considering watching it from a fan's perspective in the arena. you're just watching it on the screen for the most part in the main event. Like I know there was a lot of stuff that happened in the ring itself, in the ringside area. But like a match like that is your main event. I was like, although I did like MJF's response in the media scrum, like, are you mad that your match wasn't the main event? He's like, I didn't want to roll around in Moxley's blood. I'm like, okay, way to save your champion and make him look strong there. But yeah, I loved the exploding shoe super kick from Matt Jackson. That was really
Moment
cool.
of the year. That was hysterical.
That was really awesome. The most cringy thing, and I don't mean this like in a bad way, like the thing that made me squeamish was when they dropped him feet first on the tacks. I was like, oh shit.
Loved it.
I thought the filling the mouth up with the thumbtacks was pretty gnarly too.
Hated that.
I'm like, yeah, imagine he fucking swallows one. Like, holy
You know,
shit.
he might have probably.
Like, how do you fake that one?
You know,
Ugh. They're chocolate. They dissolve. They're like stitches. It's fine.
yeah,
But of course, Takeshita at the end, costing them the match. Wheeler Yuta, like they said, Brian Danielson said it best. Like, we're gonna make him bigger than us. They had Wheeler Yuta pin Kenny Omega in the center of the ring,
That
which
was
huge.
Shocking.
Because it's I keep trying to think it, but like I'm like, I don't see Wheeler Yuta as a main event guy. Like they got to give him more mic time. Like you can't just say he's the future. You got to give him mic time. Although he did tweet out. He did tweet out. I pinned Kenny Omega. But now we're left with okay. So are Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita in the Blackpool Combat Club? Are they separate? Like what are they going to do? I know it now makes you want to watch TV. But my thing is this: so Kenny at the end said apparently just to the live crowd that he has a friend or two that can help even the odds. So here's my first thing. So you would assume Blood and Guts is the next logical step in this feud. Now that's typically 5-on-5. So if he's got a friend, that makes it 5-on-5. But if he's got two friends, who comes out? Like, do they take Matt Jackson out? Do they take Hangman out? Take Nick Jackson out? I'm curious. Now, here's my big thing, and I just want to open up a discussion about this because I mentioned in our chat earlier. So the obvious two names that come to people's minds are Kota Ibushi and Okada. Now, I ask a third one, for a conversation. I'm curious what people's thoughts are in the comments. What would people say as a one-off to Marty Scurll?
No.
Like, is he officially? Is he canceled?
I don't see Tony Khan doing it. Like they wouldn't let Jay Briscoe wrestle on TNT. Yeah, they're not going to let Marty Scurll.
Okay,
there's no way.
The problem is
like, in my mind.
And Jay Briscoe said he apologized publicly.
Yeah,
he apologized publicly for saying homophobic things. Marty Scurll has still been defending. Well, it's still the age of consent in England, and she was legally okay to be in a bar. It's fine. That's the problem. Okay. So would I like to see it? Yes, if Marty wasn't a piece of trash, I would not be mad about that. Because I think he's very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I thought Marty was great. I mean, I actually missed the whole presentation and stuff, but I just don't think he's ever going to get a run.
Yeah,
ever.
No, it's one of those like I was just such a big Marty fan, and it's like the fan in me still. It's one of those like Chris Benoit is a fantastic wrestler, but he's a piece of shit human being. And it's one of those like if those allegations happen, there'll be a Marty Scurll dark side of the ring.
Yeah, I was watching an old Ring of Honor a couple weeks. I can't remember which one. It was something right after the Briscoe died. It was like an event they were on, or Jay Briscoe, not Marty, single Briscoe. Yeah. But Marty had a match on it and stuff, and I just hadn't seen one of his entrances in so long, and the whooping in the crowd and stuff, and I was just like, man, this is like Marty messed up, man. He had a good thing,
dude. When they had that Super Card of Honor at the Garden 2019, man, Marty was. He was the guy. Besides Okada, everyone wanted to see Marty Scurll.
Who did he wrestle All In?
All In, he wrestled Okada. Yeah, because they went too long. Remember, and that's why he wasn't in the ring afterward. But yeah.
But I just don't see it happening.
Blackpool Combat Club's 4, right?
Yep.
But then they got 5. Yeah.
Moxley has his Young Lion in Japan.
Oh, Shota
Umino.
Umino.
Ooh. Yeah. So there's 6, and now
Aren't they
if
typically
Kenny,
just 5 though?
It's
But
typically
The war,
5.
who cares?
war games,
Who
blood
cares?
and your guts, whatever they call it.
Who cares? Kenny calls in and gets Ibushi, and now just hear me out. Maki Ito.
I was gonna say fat ass Masa.
You know who realistically it would be the pop of the century? Matt Cardona.
Oh,
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say Yano.
No, I would.
N.R.D, the business
No one else
bear.
would care. It would just be me screaming.
He's back.
Yano's in America.
It's Rocky
surprised.
Romero. It's Chico
No.
El Luchador.
So I don't know.
Yeah. But I think Kota Ibushi is probably like the most logical.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but-
like, we're so close for Tom to have his moment. Oh,
I honestly thought when they pulled the mask off at the end, until it zoomed up on the face, that it was Kota Ibushi under the mask, and I was like, oh, and they zoomed in the face. I was like, oh, that's so
Oh.
cool. But
You would have known because
you would have heard him scream.
you would have heard.
So I
yeah.
was recording myself.
Oh, just in case.
Just
The only
thinking
bigger
he
pop
came
would have
out.
been
So,
if
like,
it was Doink the Clown.
after everything happened, I'm like, oh shit, Ibushi's gonna come out. Everyone in my house is like, what are you talking about?
Who?
I'm like, Kota Ibushi. I want to eat spaghetti with him. He's incredibly good
It's a
looking.
big thing.
Him
It's
and
a bit
Kenny
on the
may
show.
have been a thing, may not be a thing. I don't know, but he's probably gonna come out. Oh shit, I'm supposed to record myself. So I'm just sitting there on my couch like this. And then nothing happens. And I just deleted the video a little while ago. I go, well, that's fucking dumb.
Disappointment. But yeah, so I enjoyed Anarchy in the Arena. Not the best thing. I don't enjoy it as a main event of a pay-per-view, especially when you only have 4. It's pretty sad. Like, that will not be a top 4 main event in your shows this year, because like Blood and Guts will blow it out of the water.
Anything
know.
will blow it. I don't.
Plus, we didn't watch it in the theater either. So
It's very true.
I was disinterested in a lot of it. It was hard to follow. The music playing was really distracted for me.
Yep.
I couldn't follow anything.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's an ECW thing though. Like Tony Khan's a huge ECW mark, and that's how like New Jack's matches and stuff. they
That's
just
what I'm
leave
saying.
the music looping through the whole.
That's what
match.
everyone I saw on Twitter was saying.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, they're doing the New Jack Rub. I'm
Doing
like,
the
what
New
is
Jack
that?
thing.
And Tony Khan's like admittedly like I seen an interview with him where he said that like he got some kind of grade or passed something, I don't know, whatever. And his dad said, if you like get this past this test or whatever, I'll do anything and give you anything you want. And he asked to go to the ECW arena and watch. So him and this mustache dad Chad rolled up to East Philadelphia Street, Ritter Avenue. And rolled
Oh
up
man. Oh yeah, I would like to just before we wrap up with the evening, I did want to add one more thing to Night of Champions that I was very proud to see. So when they started those shows back in 2017, maybe 18, that area, obviously they didn't start with any women wrestling, and then it upgraded to a match between Lacey Evans and Natalia, and they had to wear these full body suits and a T-shirt over it, and like they were just like basic latex suits. Now they're like the women's wrestlers, like Becky Lynch had like Kill Bill gear. It was really dope. So it is nice to see that there's some progression happening a
Two
little bit.
women's matches.
Yes, they were great women's matches.
And
I mean, I feel
Asuka-
bad for Natalia, who had to fly out to Saudi Arabia on her birthday just to lose in 5 seconds. But, happy birthday, Natalia. We share a birthday.
3 women's matches.
3 women's matches.
Nobody even tore a quad.
But that doesn't make you the best in the world.
You know,
Trust
you
me.
can't have it's cute, but let me just stop right here for a second. You
Okay.
cannot have a Saudi show without the best in the world, Shane McMahon. He is the best in the world. He's in Saudi Arabia. They should have wheeled him out there, man. Wheel Shane out there. Give him his dues.
Like Ted Williams in the 1999 All-Star Game, they wheel him out there.
Unacceptable. They didn't even give Braun a trophy or anything. Nobody slid under the ring.
Uh,
No Titus
yes.
slides. I mean, come on.
But of course, yes. So let us know what your thoughts are on Double or Nothing, Night of Champions. If you watch Battleground, Matt Rudd, how you doing? Of course, again, shout out to Danny Ducks on his 2 brawlers, on his big win. And if you want a chance to win, ladies and gentlemen, WWE is going across the pond to the UK for Money in the Bank. We here at the Wrestling N.R.D. Broadcast are going to give you the opportunity to become Mr. or Mrs. Wrestling N.R.D. Broadcast in the Bank. And you can call your shot at Tom or whomever is the king or queen whenever you want, because it is this simple, folks. When this comes out, it will be May 30th. June 1st is right around the corner. It's the perfect time to join our Patreon, because we're going to select 8 random Patreons who will then enter the Money in the Bank ladder matches. The first ladder match of the night will win a t-shirt. The second ladder match of the evening will become Mr. or Mrs. Wrestling Nerd Broadcast in the Bank. They will get the briefcase, the whole shebang. So, Tom, good luck, buddy, because you're going to need it. They could be coming for you anytime.
I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
You know, it'd be really wild. Oh, no. Forbidden Doors before Money in the Bank. I was going to say it'd be pretty wild if Dennis won it and then just call this shot like, oh, yeah, this is now for the King of the Nerds crown.
When is Forbidden Door?
Forbidden Doors like the 25th.
Okay, I'll be back. I'm gone for a week in June, so.
Yes, I think it's the 25th. And that's a Sunday. The following Saturday, July 1st, is Money in the Bank.
Okay.
So sorry, DDJ, you're not calling your shot at Forbidden Door. But I will tell you this: we're gonna call our shot and beat you silly at Forbidden Door. So to the boys,
we know doors.
We know doors. So it's shooting shit in Toronto, Canada, our neighbor to the north. We will see you at Forbidden Door. We're gonna win. Tom's coming for you. Don't forget to like us on all the platforms and social media. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/WNRTB. Cheese Louise, pepper cheese. Of course, join our Patreon so this way you could potentially become Mr. or Mrs. Money in the Bank. Check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/WNRTB. The Owen Hart Cup's coming back. It's pretty awesome. Don't choke on that, Tom. We'll talk about more of that later. And of course, YouTube right here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We really appreciate that. Let us know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. So on behalf of myself, DaveCTheVoice, the founding father, Mr. Nick Carpenter, and the man who is angry as an orchard, Mr. Tom says hi. His Royal says hi, and his Sasso. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day, because like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone. God bless America.